So then the next grid lining up, and it's the rather wonderful looking Sports 2000 Historic Championship. The Pinto cars back out in force for the second time today. Interesting that they make the old cars race twice today. It's Paul Street that starts on pole position for this one. Mark Noiro this time in that 27 car starting alongside him. Row 2, Nicholas Johnson in the 62 car, joined by Tim Jacobson in the 116. Row 3 is Chris Snowden in the 32, Trevor Welsh in the 46. Row 4, Mike Fry in the 33, Charlie Besley in the 14. Row 5, David Williams in the 92 and Peter Needham in the 54 car. Hopefully better luck than the other Needham in the Duratec race a few moments ago. Row number 6, Nick Hyatt in the 36, Richard Cook in the 16, Charlie Hyatt on row 7 in the 10 car, and Martin Herter in the 31 car, also on row 7 with him. Row 8 is David Muse. He'll be looking for better fortunes in this race in the number 2 car. Paul Tickner in the 38, also on row 8. Adji Eugenio is set to be on row number 9 in the 11 car, alongside Nick Bailey in the 12, and the 10th row scheduled to be Simon Aldworth in the 57, Clive Steeper in the 17. With this being the fourth and final of the Sports 2000 races this weekend, the second outing so far this weekend for the Pintos, that means that I can welcome Chaz Draycott back into the commentary box for another Sports 2000 race, and based on the evidence that we got earlier on, I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We had a fantastic fight this morning between Paul Street and John Harmer, who was driving that number 27 car. Interesting that they haven't made that car start from the back of the grid, because I believe it was John that qualified the car. I know in some series, if you're sharing a car, the person that qualifies it, basically you start where your time would have put you. But I don't think Mark went out in quali. But even so, they keep that car at the front. There's Peter Needham in that beautiful blue Van Diemen. You were saying yesterday how beautiful that car is. It's an absolute corker. I remember it being one of my very favourites from the first time I commentated on this brilliant championship. And we get the number 36 machine just behind him of Nick Hyatt as well. And then, of course, his brother Charlie Hyatt is 13th, so he'll be starting right behind him on the grid. Looking forward to seeing how the Shrike gets on as well in 4th place. Tim Jacobson in that fantastic red machine. They have guaranteed it is 40 millimetres off the ground, which is the ride height, but it just looks very, very low indeed, especially when it's moving along as well. It's the little yellow splitter that it's got, you see. It does just look like it's scraping on the floor.
Nah, I reckon they just missed the decimal point in 40.
It's 4 mil. Yeah. It does look it, doesn't it?
It's an excellent looking car. At one point, that 116 car of Tim Jacobson was actually the pace setter, so a good start here, maybe a good run up into the first 2 or 3 positions could give Tim a shot at a good result in this race. Interested to see how Mark Noiro does, kind of coming in cold into this race, and well, what a way to do so on the front row of the grid. We know what Paul Street is capable of as well, particularly on the brakes, so as long as he gets a somewhat decent start, you'd suspect he has the inside line and the lead into Redgate, but that's all on paper. Let's see what happens in reality. The red lights should be on in a short while. The green flag waves now, so here come the red lights. 5-second board has been displayed. Lights on, and we are underway. It's Paul Street who does not get a good start in the slightest. Another bad start further back. One car really struggling to get off the line as well. And into the lead goes the 62. Nicholas Johnson with a great start. And Jacobson, I said if he got a good start, he might be a contender. He's up into 2nd place. I think Mark Noiro and Paul Street got into it a little bit there at Redgate. It's Noiro with a nose ahead in 3rd and 4th place. They're side by side. Is Street brave enough to go all the way around the outside the Craner curves? Yes, he is. Reclaims 3rd place, but the top 2 streaking away. It's Johnson from Jacobson, the 2nd row lead.
And into the old hall. I get this right, it's the wrong circuit, that's Alton Park. Into the old hairpin. Trevor Welsh even went down the inside of Noiro, and now Chris Snowden's going past as well. The 2 cars that didn't get away were Charlie Beasley and Charlie Hyatt, so if your name's Charlie, it's not a good time to start on that grid by the look of it, but what a fantastic start by the 2 wonderful little red rockets near the front, Nick Johnson and Tim Jacobson. The 2 of them just went either side of Mark Noiro and got a brilliant launch off that one. We're just going to now wait and see what Paul Street can do here, because we know, like you've said, Adam, he's incredible incredible on the brakes here. But we know also how quick that Shrike was of Jacobsen early on in the first race. But it's Nick Johnson leading the way then as they cross the line for the first time. And then he has got Jacobsen right behind. Then it's Street, Welsh, Snowden, Needham up into 6th place, then Noiro, and then Williams, Hyatt in 9th, and Mike Fry rounding out your top 10. But look at these two little red machines at the front. They look very similar from the front, but when you see them side on, they are completely different little cars. But that Lola, that's an absolute rocket in a straight line we saw earlier. So again, the characteristics are going to come into play here.
Absolutely. Well, Johnson was right in the midst of what was at one point a 3-car scrap for the lead in the first race. Just noticed some smoke coming from the back of the car there a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's nothing too major.
Didn't we see that in the first race as well? I think we saw a bit of that into the final chicane a couple of times from Nick Johnson's car. Then again, the way that bodywork works on the back of that Lola, it does look like it's been dinged in. It looks like it's been clouted by something. But yeah, there is a little wisp of smoke coming up from that right rear end, isn't there?
Yes, so hopefully nothing to report, particularly from that at the end. But we'll have to keep an eye on it. Nonetheless, the cars stream down towards the Robert chicane for the second time of asking, and it is still Nicholas Johnson in that 62 car leading the way. Tim Jacobsen in 2nd place, moving up through the order a bit there is the 54 car, that rather wonderful, I think I said that wrong, didn't I say rather wonderful? Peter Needham in 6th place now at this point in the Van Diemen RF
for the lead.
SC02, and up goes Jacobsen. Great driving from Tim Jacobsen, the 116 car through into the lead, and the Shrike is in the lead. The Shrike strikes with Jacobsen at the wheel, and it's a problem for 62 Nicholas Johnson. We saw the little puffs of smoke, and unfortunately that car doesn't look like it's going any further.
No, he's still circulating, but he'll try and get it back to the pits, and I'm not sure if he will. We'll have to wait and see. But that's a real shame, though, because he's got such pace in that car. Just seems like it's overworked itself, maybe. We look here on our screens at Paul Street in that absolutely glorious Lola. What a fantastic looking car that is. And what a fast car as well. He's having a great lap so far. He's really closed in on Tim Jacobsen. Again, late on the brakes into Coppice. Looking very good. Williams also got past Noiro just in the back of our shot as we came into the chicane last time round. So he's now up into 7th place in that 92 car. Big fan of that because it's running white wheels, as I mentioned earlier. But here is almost the exact reverse of each other, these two cars, aren't they? The white, beautiful white Lola and the very, very vacuum-formed Shrike that leads the way. You can see how low the bodywork is on that car. It's literally as low as you can get it, isn't it? To the ground, and in terms of how far the bodywork goes over the top of all the inner workings of the machine. Closed wheel arches on these things as well. They look so cool. Like, that is a proper guilty pleasure of mine, is a closed wheel arch. But the fact they've got no big wings to spoil the look of it either on the back, it's just great to see these cars. And in the sunshine as well here at Donington. It may not be a hot day out there, but it's still nice to get a bit of sunshine this afternoon ahead of the wonderful KA race that's coming up later on, of course.
Paul Street, I think, will be rubbing his hands here because, I mean, Jacobsen did have some great pace earlier, but ultimately he did end up a few seconds away from the leading trio in this early race. Paul Street will no doubt know that. He'll have looked at the result sheet before he got back in the car, and he's thinking if he can get past, he might be quids in here for a win, especially as well, of course, with John Harmer, a non-factor in this race. Mark Noiro in the same car, dropping down the order. Street could be very much in favour here. But for now, it is Tim Jacobsen that continues to lead. Jacobsen setting good pace as well. That said, the fastest lap of the race is with Street. In fact, actually, I'll change that because 1:14.880 to Jacobsen. So Jacobsen sets the fastest lap of the race. He has seen the Lola in his rear-view mirror, and he's suddenly found some speed. Motivating.
Lovely stuff. Chris Snowden there in 3rd place, just ahead of Trevor Welsh, and behind them Nick Hyatt has just disposed of Pete Needham, but I think Pete tried to come back underneath him on the exit of the corner. Two blue beauties together, the Van Diemen against the Lola. That Lola was dark green and gold last season. It looked absolutely amazing. It still looks great now, but I think last season's car was better. Sorry, Ross. But Nick's still doing a great job. He's up into 5th place right now, and he started 11th on the grid as well, so really good progress in the first 6 minutes of this race. The unmistakable, really tall roll hoop there on Chris Snowden's car with the closed rear wheel arches on it, at least semi-closed rear wheel arches on Chris's Tiger. It's a very interesting take on it, but to be honest, if there was anybody that would try to make a Tiger work even better, it would be Chris Snowden. As you very well know, he's an incredible talent, not just in the car itself, but when it comes to being on the spanners as well and getting everything worked out. He supports a number of these guys in the Tigers as well, and he does a great job. There's a fantastic bunch of them all under one big awning. Really, really nice place to be. A lot of camaraderie, that's for sure. But Trevor Welsh, well, he's not bothered about camaraderie right now. He's just worried about filling that rear view mirror.
Change for the lead. Meanwhile, Street has got through into the lead of the race off camera. The 48 car is through into the lead. Just saw that in the bottom, a shot on the MSV live stream here, and well, it's now changed again. Street was ahead. It says it on the timing screen. I'm not going crazy. The 48 car was in the lead. By the time we see them going through the Craner curves, Jacobson has retaliated. It's status quo once again, but this battle is clearly hotting up.
Fantastic stuff. He must have had some sort of cutback out of Redgate, because we've seen how good Jacobson can be off the corner, and we've seen how good, maybe, sometimes Paul Street can be on the brakes. As there you go, another example. Didn't even look like he was alongside there from the camera angle we were given. That was fantastic. He just appeared in front of him. It was really strange. It was like one of those things that's meant to sort of make your eyes go funny, where things overlap over each other and they're not meant to. That was fantastic by Paul Street. But straight again, look, Jacobson off. Oh, and that is Mike Fry off the road. And that looks like McLean's. That looks like on the way in. And Jacobson back in front again. Whoa! Paul Street, he had his hand in the air then for a second, maybe saying that there's a yellow flag. I think they might have brought the yellows out or something, but he was definitely not happy there, was Paul, was he?
No, something's not satisfying Paul Street. At the end of the day, Jacobson has every right to fight unless there is a yellow flag going on. Maybe there was some kind of argument over track space that we missed on the run down the back straight. Of course, there will be yellows this time at the safety car is out, so that would probably be for Mike Fry, who is out on the exit or around the outside of McLean's, as we alluded to. So safety car is out, race is reset. But yeah, Paul Street, not a happy bunny there.
No, I'm intrigued by that, because I don't think they would have... I'm not sure if they would have had the yellow sort of stretched out to that far around the circuit, because they wouldn't have had it past Coppice, especially as Coppice was clear at that point, because Mike Fry, I believe, is just off to the right of our shot there.
Yeah.
There's the gorgeous 92 machine. Look at that on white wheels. It's fantastic. It's absolutely awesome. But yeah, that confused me there. It must be, like you alluded to there, Adam, it might be some sort of disagreement, let's say, of space on the circuit. Maybe he just thought that he shouldn't be overtaking, or maybe they squeezed one another. We'll have to see. But Paul Street right now needs to keep his head in the game here, because being back in front, he's the man in the box seat. But look, right behind Jacobson now, Chris Snowden is right there, that very well-known black and green liveried helmet. And he will be more than happy to have closed up to these guys. 3 different manufacturers in the top 3 as well, of course. Lola, Shrike and Tiger. And then another Lola behind in 4th place. That's one of the best things about these Pintos as well. You do see a lot of weird and wonderful cars sometimes with fantastic designs on them and just great aerodynamics. You know, you see them and you think, did that really work, or does that work? You know, they're all very different. One of them especially is there's a March in the field, the March 81S of Paul Tickner. It's a blue car, but it's got this sort of shovel-like nose on it with just a big square cutout. Looks fantastic. Another one that is a really beautiful car is the Royale S2000M of Nick Bailey. Really, really gorgeous car. He's a little bit further down the order. We've not seen much of it today, but that number 12 car is an absolute stunner in Gulf colours as well. Looks great.
Yeah, I really like the number 46 of Trevor Welsh. I think that kind of almost looks like a scaled down Group S prototype from the early 1970s, you know, kind of like some of the bigger Lolas that were running around at the time, and the chevrons as well, of that kind of almost boxy
it looks like a chevron
stance. And it's, no, I think that's a lovely piece of kit, and certainly well turned out by Trevor Welsh, the 46 car. 9.5 minutes of this race left to go then. We'd suspect we're going to get at least one more lap under safety car. Safety car has absolutely gone to a crawl there. That's because the tractor is there recovering the 33 car of Mike Fry. So I suspect we are going to get at least one more lap behind the safety car. Definitely not going to see the lights out this time. But I think we should get a good 6 or 7 minutes of racing, which is more than enough time for things to get very interesting.
It is indeed, especially now it's been bunched up as well, and we've got Chris Snowden in there, Trevor Welsh and Nick Hyatt, even Peter Needham as well. You know, these are all guys that have been right up there at the sharp end before. There's the beautiful number 2 machine as well of David Muse, the bright yellow Shrike a bit further down the order. That's a cracking looking car, that as well. That some of them have got this really exposed airbox on top of them. You know, it doesn't sort of flow into side pods down the car or through from the front of the car. They've just got a big beefy intake sticking out the top of the back of it. You can see a bit of it there actually on the Tiger of Mike Fry, but on that yellow number 2 machine, it sort of pops up and then goes around the side of the monocoque. You can see it there. It looks absolutely great. It looks almost aircraft-like, doesn't it? How perfectly round it is. What a good-looking car that is.
Yeah, it's almost a little like the kind of side intakes that you'd get on the engine cover of a Formula 3 car as well. Like
yeah, very much so.
Old school Formula 3 car.
Proper Formula 3 car, as I call them.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to weigh in. Into the pits has gone the Aldworth number 57 Lola T492. Did wonder if a couple of cars may struggle with trundling around at this kind of speed. You do, of course, not get the air through to the engine, and that can sometimes cause issues, particularly with cars of an older vintage.
Yeah, indeed, and they had trouble in the first race, unfortunately, as well. It seems like that's not got any better. But look how cute these cars are. They're just, it is just adorable, isn't it? Look at it. It's such a great-looking car. They look so simple from here, but so much work goes into them. It's just, I love these machines, and it's no secret to anybody in this paddock or anybody that ever watches or listens to me commentate on Sports 2000. Pintos are my absolute, well, I wouldn't even say guilty pleasure. You know, there's nothing wrong about liking a Pinto, because look at them. They're just great cars, and you know, they've got that real vintage feel to them, but they still give us a modern form of racing. You know, it's just, I love it, absolutely love it. And this series will hopefully go from strength to strength, especially with what we've seen this weekend and what we get in a few weeks' time at Silverstone.
Yeah, I will say, wholeheartedly agree with everything you said there. I just didn't expect the point to start with the declaration that the car was cute. That's why I was quite amused initially.
I really do think they're adorable.
They are. You know, they do look like scaled down little. Again, early 70s Le Mans cars almost to an extent. I do love the homage to the Porsche 908 Targa Florio car there on the number 12 of Bailey. The safety car lights are off. 6.5 minutes left to go.
Let's go.
Popcorn, hopefully out of the microwave or the hob if you're watching at home. Let's watch this race unfold then for the next 6 minutes and 20 seconds. We're back underway, and it is Paul Street at the head of the order. Will Tim Jacobson be deterred by the gesticulation from Street earlier? I somehow doubt it. And there's also the small matter of Chris Snowden there in third place, as you alluded to. I very much like his green helmet, particularly from the back. It looks as if Henri Pescarolo has arrived to do a race today. And he runs in third place at the moment, Snowden. But let's see if Jacobson and Street in the first instance can break away again.
Yeah, that's it. I think last time they maybe felt a bit more comfortable battling, and Street felt really more comfortable going for the move because they did have quite the gap back to the guys behind. It was about 4 or 5 seconds. But now they want to just get back into a rhythm in these opening laps. There's Chris Snowden staying with them for now. Chris and a bunch of the other guys actually last year did I think it was the 12 hours of Paul Ricard in a Tiger, the white and blue one, the number 10 that we've seen Charlie Hyatt driving actually. They did an endurance race there in that car, put some lights on it. It was absolutely fantastic. Here goes Jacobson though. He's got some great straight line speed in that Shrike. Really pulls quickly alongside the left-hand side, at least, of Paul Street. But Paul just a little bit better on the brakes there, tidies it up. Now Jacobson pulls out to the left, and sometimes these guys have to do that, you know, they can't sit in the slipstream the whole time, because like you say, they don't get the cold air to the car as Jacobson looks down the inside. He can actually, quite conveniently, because that car's so low at the front, and because the back of the Lolo is so high, he can sort of slot underneath it, can't he? It's like really bad Lego pieces when they go together.
Automotive Tetris. They run towards the old hairpin then for the 11th time in this race with 4.5 minutes to go, and based on the evidence from the Redgate corner, I would say that Tim Jacobson isn't going to hang around much longer. Also getting involved there, the 46 of Trevor Welsh in 4th place. Just behind him, Hyatt in the 36 car, who started in 11th place. He's put in some a good shift in this one. Nick Hyatt there in 5th position. And all getting a bit unsettled there is Jacobson, and that could actually give Snowden the opportunity. Despite the excess drag I'm sure he must get from that roll hoop, he could have a good run down the back straight here towards the chicane. Street goes defensive once again, doesn't need to, however. Jacobson slots in behind him, and Snowden has to stay in 3rd place. So all remaining the same as they come across the line on this occasion. But look at this, it's like a Caterham race again. 5 cars, line astern, heading towards the first turn.
There was a car off in the background there, didn't quite catch who it was, came back on though. I think it might have been Besley. It might have been Besley in the 14, but look at this from Jacobson. Sorry, I looked down at the timing too long there. Jacobson goes back through in front of Street, gets a fantastic run off the corner, but we've seen that from this strike. It's got really good punch out of the corner, and it's really good top end as well. It just seems like an all-round fast car. It's just that Street's so good on the brakes, and that Lola's really good at going around the corners, to be fair, very, very quickly. But look, Snowden tucked up right behind him now. Nick Hyatt is right behind Trevor Welsh. I think they're actually side by side going up to McLean's. Is Snowden going to look down the inside? He does look there, but doesn't quite get the car alongside. But this is a fantastic 5-way scrap for the lead. I love this.
3 minutes to go, so we do have a little more of this yet to come. I think we'll get 2 complete laps once they cross the line this time, in theory. Here they come then towards the Robert chicane, and it is the 116 of Tim Jacobson that leads, but Paul Street coming up to a braking zone, always smelling blood, has a little look to the inside, cannot find a way past on this occasion. Snowden right there to profit if there's even half an opportunity. Jacobson going defensive, Street looking to the inside. Is Street going to unleash his signature braking? Yes, he does. What a dive up the inside, and successful too. He gets the lead and covers it off nicely on the inside as well. So Jacobson has to settle for 2nd place. Paul Street into the lead. He's still got Jacobson and Snowden right there behind him. This 5-car train, 5 more different cars racing together. I refuse to find, you'll believe, anywhere this weekend. Fabulous racing.
Absolutely awesome stuff. This is a great advert for Pinto Racing as well, and even more of an example of how fantastic it would be if we do have these cars on their own for a full season. They don't spend the time jumping out of the way of Duratex or worrying about who's coming up to lap them. They can just go completely hammer and tongs and race each other as hard as they can. Great fight in the background as well, actually, between Williams and Besley. I don't think it was Besley then that went off earlier. I think it might have been Noiro, you know, because I did see a bit of smoke out the car when he went off, and I think he's actually, he's coming to the pits as well. But this quintet is the absolute genuine best bit of entertainment we've had this weekend from these lot. This has been brilliant stuff, and we thought the first race was good, Adam. This is great.
Really is amazing racing. We've got 1 minute and 20 left on the clock as they cross the line. If they abide by the 20-minute race duration, there should be a further 2 laps of this, which I'm very excited for. It is Paul Street that leads the way as they go through Redgate for the 14th time, and it is Jacobson looming large in the low-slung red shrike as they go through the Craner curves once again. Just a couple of car lengths further back than he has been recently is Snowden, and then just another few car lengths back, of course, is this battle for 4th place between Welsh and Nick Hyatt. Nick Hyatt in the 36 car, that Lola T91. He actually had the fastest lap of the race.
He's had him. He's just gone down the inside, sorry. I think he had him at McLean's.
Yes, okay, so good move there. Yes, Hyatt through. I was going to say that the fastest lap of the race was with Hyatt for a while. He's since lost it to Paul Street, as you see on the screen. Here comes Snowden. He's managed to hustle his way to the inside coming out of Coppice. Does he have the straight line speed to hold on? They're pretty much equidistant, seemingly, as they go down the straight. A bit braver on the brakes as Snowden, and Snowden up to 2nd place. This is all great news for Street in the lead as they head on to what should be the final lap. And look at that drag race still ongoing. Jacobson with the reply. He's on the outside. He's got a better run out of Roberts. Will he have the bravery and the grip around the first corner here at Redgate? No, he doesn't. He's going to try for the cutback. Yes. Oh, and he just about finds a way. He's going to be on the grass. Amazing stuff between the 2 of them. They both managed to get through it. Is he going to go around the outside of the Craner curves? Yes, he is. Will he have the inside for the old hairpin? Yes, he does.
Fantastic.
2nd place remains with Tim Jacobson. Chris Snowden just gave him the room he needed there. Great driving between the two of them. Snowden, I'm sure, is going to try and find a way to retaliate before the end of this, but Jacobsen with second place as they go through McLean's.
That was absolutely gorgeous stuff by Jacobsen, and you could tell straight away he waited so much longer than Snowden did to turn in, and you could see he was going to do the cutback. He tried it on street earlier and it worked. Oh, it sounds like there's a car off. Is Nick Hyatt off? Yes, Nick Hyatt has gone from our shot. Nick Hyatt has gone off at Coppice. Aggie Eugenio there waiting. Paul Street. Oh, there's more cars involved. That looked like Williams and then Needham as well. Okay. More cars off.
I think fluid may be down there, then maybe from Eugenio's car, but we'll have to wait and see. And look at this, the leader comes across the line to take the win. Congratulations to Paul Street, and heart in the mouth stuff for Tim Jacobsen there. Both Jacobsen and Snowden had to take evasive action there from the slowing car, and well, both of them survive it. Jacobsen takes that second place, very well earned second position on that occasion. Snowden takes third. Welsh and Besley round out the top five. We're still waiting to see sixth place across the line, because as you rightly say, cars have gone missing in numbers in their droves. Hyatt, Needham and Williams seemingly all off in the gravel, or all suffering some sort of malady.
Williams has crossed the line now, actually. Sorry, Adam.
Yes.
He's just come through in ninth, interestingly.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. There is Needham off the road still, so maybe Williams could carry on. But the two of them, as they came into shot, they were nose to nose and both still moving. That was pretty intriguing. Wow. That's a scary moment, but not a scary moment for Paul Street, though. Once he got back in the lead, he just disappeared up the road. I wanted to just quickly shout out, Besley, after that horrendous start and dropping so many positions, still came through to finish fifth. What a drive that is, Sunshine.
Yeah, not bad. Started eighth, probably was third last by the first corner, and yeah, now finishing fifth place. Good stuff from him. Street with the fastest lap of the race as well, a 1:14.384. So pretty much a clean sweep of the race there. Started on pole, took the fastest lap and the win, but it was anything but lights to flag for Paul Street. He had to fight every inch of the way there. As Chaz rightly said, that was a fabulous advert for the Sports 2000s in general, but particularly these historic Pinto cars. Great racing all throughout, drama to the very last corner, quite literally, and Paul Street would be interested to know quite why he was having that gesturing with Tim Jacobsen earlier in the early stages of the race before the safety car. Seemed to be some disagreements going on there, but that's all firmly in his past now. In his present is an interview with Alan Hyde, and I'm sure celebrations with his team on a well-earned victory. Doesn't sound like.
Do apologise. It was my fault. I still had the mute on the microphone, but we got a whoop of joy when Paul arrived down in pit lane. I wonder if some of that celebration and some of that's relief.
Yeah. That was a busy day.
that was an amazing five-way battle at the end of the race.
Yeah, I was had my eyes, and I needed the guys behind to get in a battle to get away. I didn't quite have the pace this afternoon that I had this morning, but. Yeah, we got it. Got the job done.
Right, and now I need you to explain to me what happened just before the safety car went out. It looks as if you weren't sort of 100% happy. What was going on?
Oh, it's one we can discuss. The Shrike has no brake lights.
Right.
So coming into the chicane, he'd taken an inside line and he come across me into the braking zone.
Right, I see.
So I sent it up the inside and went by. Right. But I was a bit grumpy about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, heat at the moment stuff. We'll chat. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Fully understood. We just couldn't quite work out what it was.
Yeah, it was because of the no brake lights. When you're running that close behind it, it makes it quite stressful.
Yeah. I would imagine it probably does, because these things are going at quite a rate, aren't they?
Yeah, they stop at quite a rate as well. I think it's the main thing. So once you hit the brakes, they slow down very quickly. Yes, they're great.
You've had a perfect weekend, haven't you?
Yes, I've had a very good weekend so far, yeah. Just hope the drive home works as well.
I was going to say, it always makes the drive home that much more enjoyable, doesn't it?
It does, but I've got to do the M25 and the M1, so it might not be.
The M25 is the worst end to it.
I know, but there we go.
Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Paul, many congratulations, super stuff. There we go. Our next race is going to be the final race of the afternoon, of the weekend, in fact. And it's a long one. It's a 5-hour race for the Enduro cars. The KA PAs getting ready down in the garage. They will be out next.
Absolutely. Let's run you through, though, the results for this Sports 2000 Historic Championship race in full. Paul Street taking the victory from Tim Jacobson in the Shrike. Chris Snowden in third. Trevor Welsh in fourth place. Charlie Besley recovering to fifth position ahead of Charlie Hyatt. David Muse in seventh. Richard Cook in eighth. David Williams in ninth. And Martin Herter rounding out the top 10. Nick Bailey finishing in 11th place. Nick Hyatt classified 12th ahead of Peter Needham, Adji Eugenio, Mark Noiro, Simon Aldworth, Mike Fry, Nicholas Johnson all withdrawing from the race at various points. So that concludes the Sports 2000 weekend, the overarching weekend for the Sports 2000 category. And just before we sign off on this race, Chaz, just want to say, I'm sure as a part of the championship, you're delighted with what we've seen this weekend.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. You know, this has been the first time that we've properly split the two fields between the Duratec's and the Pintos and had separate races. And it's just shown how amazing these Pintos can be. It's kind of a shame to see that. You must consider that sometimes when these guys run with the Duratec's, it waters down the racing that they have because they get lapped so quickly by the Duratec's and they have to just spend the race running out of the way. And this has just been absolutely wonderful to see. The Duratec's can just go absolutely all out because they just only have themselves to think about. And the same with the Pintos, you know, they don't have to be getting out of the way, checking their mirrors all the time and worrying about traffic. Even the same when it comes to qualifying. They can just go for it, and it just shows you how good the racing can be. A final thanks from me, though, Adam. It's been great to join you again, and obviously thanks to Apsley House Capital PLC for being the sponsor of this championship as well, and Locks for Vans for the Sports 2000 Championship this year. It's absolutely mega to be a part of it again, and we'll be back in a few weeks at Silverstone.